This is TWiT. Hey, guess what? New Mac time. Last time we did this, I think it was the iPhone 11.
Oh my God, it has been a long time since we were both here doing an unboxing together.
Yeah. So how come you got a mic stand and I have to hold mine?
It came last minute. I don't know.
It was a last minute mic stand. Mac Studio, this is the $4,000 version, the Ultra.
M1 Ultra, baby.
Mac Studio monitor.
The Studio display, yeah.
Display. What did you get the whoopie doopie thing?
I didn't get any whoopie doopie because if I did, I was going to have to wait and not get it on launch
waiting.
day. So no whoopie doopie.
First
no
day,
waiting.
by the way, to be clear, we are not YouTube stars, so we didn't get this sent to us by Apple.
Hard-earned money went to make this stuff.
We spent our money, real money, full price, no discount. So here we go. Let's go ahead. You can pull your tab.
All right, we got our tabs.
These have tabs, which is nice. Mine came from Malaysia, which is interesting. This is not made in China. This was made in Malaysia. So let's get in there with a handheld. Ooh.
Ooh.
Open the pod bay door, Hal. Ooh.
Oh, there's a nice here. Let me get.
That's not a cheap old rubber handle. That feels like hook and looper. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Look at that. That's actually like they're putting some effort into the handle.
It almost looks like a Mac Studio from the side.
You can almost carry it. Whoomp. All right. That's nice. It is heavy. Now, this is the 2-pound heavier one because it has a
copper heat
sink. Yeah, this is a good idea. I'll do this, and then do I have to do the other side? Probably.
Lay it down.
God, it's heavy. I can't do it with one hand.
Wait, there's a seal you have to cut right there on the top.
On the top?
My thought is it just lifts from the front there.
I think your thought was correct.
Okay, you got it right.
Yeah, I think your thought was correct. It just, we want to get it right when we're doing it. So you think I should just...
I think like this.
Here's the manual. It's tiny. Okay. Wow, I'm gonna have to put this under my arm. Oh, wait a minute! Look, it's got handy arrows to show you that the release. Oh, look at that! Apple has the unboxing mojo, don't they?
There you go.
Look at that! Look at that! It just lifts right out.
Here, we're gonna give this to Micah.
There we go. No, I got it. This is good.
Well, you got to get Mike on. You got Mike dropped in there.
I know. I hate these things. So nice fabric cable. They mentioned, I've seen that mentioned in some reviews. But what's really nice, and I thought kind of surprising, is that the power supply, the big old brick, is built into the bottom of that Mac Mini. I think it's a 387-watt power supply. Unfortunately, they're doing their weird Mickey Mouse thing. But, Burke, that's a standard, right? The Mickey Mouse connector. It's just a less common standard.
Yeah, they call it the Disney standard.
The Disney trademark. So we do have some of those, but this is nice. You know, it's fabric and all that stuff. Boy, you're getting a beauty shot of that cable, man. We are really getting to know the cable. All right, there's no point in turning this on. Well, let me remove the rest of the packaging, and then we can start unpackaging the monitor. This is wrapped in construction paper. Should I be saving that?
That is shiny on top.
I always wonder if I should save this. Like, if I have to send it back, would they want me to wrap it?
I tend to.
Do you?
Yeah, but that's just because...
Oh, God, it's heavy. Feel that. Feel that.
Oh, my. Okay, that is a lot heavier.
It's surprisingly heavy.
Oh, wow. Oh, Mao. Oh, Mao.
Oh, Mao. Oh, Mao. It's the big boy. Check out the
bottom of that.
It's the big boy. This is something Apple did with the laptops, too. They did the embossed name on the new MacBook Pros. I really like that. I think that's nice. And, of course, they've got the heat coming out the bottom of that.
Sadly, no cleaning cloth.
That's interesting. Is that a Kensington lock? I guess it is.
I read that they did include a Kensington lock.
Look at that. Yeah, it's not really well positioned. You'd have to have a hole in the table or something.
You should know your sticker is
it's black
instead of white.
So that means it's Pro.
Yes,
that's Pro. Yeah. I have a black one left for my trash can Mac, so I have twins now.
What are the ports there on the back? Remind us.
I think we all know. Because it's the Ultra, these are Thunderbolt 4 on front and back, 4 on the back. That's a 10 gigabit Ethernet. There's the Disney logo. And these are 5 gigabit per second USB-A Type 3 2, I think. HDMI. We're going to use that HDMI. And then why? I don't know. A headphone jack.
Headphone jack with
But
high impotence.
It's more high impotence.
Yeah.
It's highly impotent.
I can't. What is
you
it
mean
called?
impedance?
Impedance.
Yes.
That's
It's
it.
a highly impotent headphone jack. In the front, a lot of people have commented on this. They said it could have been a sad face. They came so close.
If they would have done them.
It could have been a sad face. The Ultra has a Thunderbolt 4 on the front because it has 2 chips, so it has extra Thunderbolt 4 lanes. If you get the regular M1 Max, you'll have, these will be USB, or no, I guess Thunderbolt 3 or USB.
3, I
Maybe
think.
USB. And then SDXC card reader. It is, it's weird looking if you're used to. Bert, do
Shorter?
we still have the 2 Apple TVs? Yeah, let's put the 2 Apple TVs. Those are the original iMacs. We can stack next to it. It should be a little bit shorter. Actually, it's pretty close. Just a little bit shorter.
A lot bigger.
Yeah, it's wider. Yeah, the Fat Boy and the old iMac.
It's a lot of power in that
If you
thing.
have an iMac at home, though, you have a pretty good idea. This is not the M1 iMac. These are the old Intel iMacs. So I think the M1s are actually a little slimmer. We're using the M1 we have is being used. So thank you.
Interesting to have the power button on the back. I just noticed.
Yeah.
It's about the same.
So I think the use case, we're gonna take a look when we open up the display, but I think they kind of thought for a lot of people they'd integrate this like they would an iMac and put it in that tray underneath the monitor. So go ahead and open your monitor.
All right,
'cause
let's do the
there's
monitor.
no point in turning this on until we have something we can. Do you think it'll come with a monitor cable?
I believe it does come with a Thunderbolt 3 cable, because that's one thing that folks may not know. Even though everything else is moving to Thunderbolt 4, this still does, use Thunderbolt 3.
Because DisplayPort comes over Thunderbolt 3, so it's
Precisely.
using DisplayPort.
It
So
has that same fabric, nylon.
Oh, is this the M1?
No, this is the old one.
Old one.
It's the same footprint.
Oh, it is the same
The one's in
footprint.
the comfort room.
Oh, it's the same footprint as the Intel Mini. So what were those, Apple TVs?
Those are really old.
Those are really old.
Those are
Okay.
props.
So if you have a Mac Mini, you see it's exactly the same footprint. And then height-wise, it's a little bit more than twice. And what's interesting is half of this height is fan. All right, let's get the box. Oh, boy. Here we go. This is exciting.
So this has that same nylon strap across the top that's in the Mac Studio.
Nice.
All right, so we've got the same pull tab here.
Do you get this wallpaper?
I hope so. So nice. And
It is really interesting to see these two together.
It opens the same
This really looks the same.
way. So we'll lift from the front.
Oh, same thing with the 2 arrows.
Yep.
That's
So we
really a
take those out
nice way of doing that, I think.
like that.
And then I'll help you.
And then, yes, let's lift the display.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
We need Ant.
This is why you do push-ups.
This is why you do push-ups, says Ant.
This is why I should do push-ups.
Is there any? It's so hard to tell. This is such.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Hello?
cardboard in there. Are you in there?
Go in there, Cable.
Where are you?
Oh, you should save this. This would be a really excellent.
Oh, I'm definitely saving it.
Mouse house for a small rodent. Any rodent really would work. Very nicely.
Absolutely. It is how this will be transported
Yeah,
to
you know
my
what? That's exactly.
home office.
We're gonna show you how we're gonna transport the.
Oh, look, the cables are on the
Studio.
back.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, take a peek around
I can't
back.
even lift the box. Oh
Paper
God.
back there. So,
Leo.
Save that for my.
It's not heavy.
sorry, I did that twice. Oh, there we go.
Well, it's nice that the cable's just right there. That's great.
Right there in the back, and now I'm trying to see how the rest of it comes out.
It's already plugged in.
It's already plugged. It's already plugged in. Is it integrated or is it removable? Because that was one nice thing about the iMac is you could unplug it. I hope it's not normaled in.
Oh, wait.
It's hard to tell with the. I don't want to touch Micah's monitor. I'll let him do his.
Oh, you're wondering if this comes undone?
Yes.
I don't want to even try.
Pull on it. See what happens. No, unpackage it first. Unpackage it. Don't. I'm just teasing. It's probably a Type C type connector, right? Yeah, it comes out. You can see it comes out. You can see it comes out. It's just like it's exactly like the iMac where it's kind of flush mounted, but it's going to be able to be removed.
Could you grab that paper over there? That box over there?
You need this?
I believe that has the Thunderbolt 3 cable in it. Oh. So we will pop this open.
Shall I remove the screen protector?
Be my guest, yes. Ooh, even the Thunderbolt 3 cable is fabric.
That is a very satisfying.
Wow.
We'll save that too because Micah is very fastidious.
I am. I would like that.
He wants
saved,
everything
yes.
the way it was.
So the same kind of material with the Thunderbolt 3.
This goes to the. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, fabric. So any of the back ones, I guess, or even the front on this one. Plug it in.
And now we'll do it on here. So
you know what we forgot to bring. And we won't be the only people who forgot to bring it. A keyboard and mouse.
Oh no!
It doesn't come with a keyboard and mouse. I'm sure we can find one.
3 USB-C ports and 1 Thunderbolt port.
Oh, so you got to connect it to the right port.
Correct.
All right.
So we'll pop that into there.
We need Type-C. Actually, mice and keyboard, anything, because I have a USB A type connector on the back too, which is actually really thoughtful because there'll be a lot of people with USB A keyboards and mice, and so they did put 2 of those on there.
Also the black
more
stickers.
Black stickers. That shows it's a Pro.
It's a Pro. That's how you know.
As soon as the keyboard and mouse arrive, we will power up. But what do you think? I mean, this is nice.
It's very pretty.
It doesn't look like an iMac.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
It's squarer,
it's
thicker, I think.
Grills at the top
Is
and
it
the bottom.
thicker?
I believe it is thicker.
Yeah.
You can tell there's a microphone on the back. There are 2 in the front. That microphone array is how it does noise cancellation and all that magic.
Now, I'm going to have to tell you the truth. I had one of these on order, and I canceled it after seeing Nilay Patel's review in The Verge and John Gruber's on DaringFireball.net. Both of them, in fact, they're not alone. Joanna Stern on the Wall Street Journal. Pretty much everybody who's got this has confirmed that the camera
is terrible right now.
Does not look good, and the center stage doesn't work well. So one of the things we're going to do, if we can do it quickly enough, is boot it up and go into a FaceTime call. And we will compare head-to-head because I brought my iPad Pro, the M1 iPad Pro, which does have a very nice camera. In fact, in theory, the same camera and center stage technology
same
and all
camera,
that.
but with a better image signal processor because this is rocking the A11 chip inside of it.
And so you're right. And this is basically an A15.
Yeah, this is an
M1 rather. Yeah,
an iPhone 11 front-facing camera is what this comes out to be.
While we're waiting, let's just see because we had the people. Who make this. This is one of the very first accessories for the Mac Studio. Tell us about this, Micah.
Yeah, so this is Waterfield Designs, sfbags.com. They make lots of different cool accessories. And what I love about it is that they do it like day one. So they are currently working on a Mac Studio case.
They sent Micah a note saying, could you?
because we had one on day one. They thought, can we please give it a test to make sure it's going to fit? And so they sent us one our way.
So they have not yet tried it with a real Mac Studio. But if they're watching... this is a really interesting idea. You don't normally think of, a Mac Pro as being portable, but look, there it is. It fits beautifully, SF bags, and it's not that heavy on my shoulder. I'll be seeing you all later. Bye-bye.
And you can wrap up your cable and stick it into this front zipper pouch here.
This is nice. This is their waxed canvas, which I think they really do a nice job with that. So, isn't that nice? Yeah,
and I'm glad it fits.
Yeah,
we got the measurements right.
You're there. I think there's somebody there at SF Bags is even more glad. It fits beautifully, and
they use the YKK zippers, and honestly,
they do nice stuff.
Best zipper you can.
And look at that. See that? It's got nice poochy.
Oh yeah, what is that?
It's soft.
There's a name for it. Sherpa.
It's Sherpa leather. Sherpa leather. All right, so. I should have brought, I have my iMac keyboard and mouse that would have been a nicer. Look at that, it fits perfectly.
It does.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Congratulations. Good guessing. All right, let's plug this back in.
Get this over to you. Over to you, sir.
Over to me.
Oh, do you have any USB? Oh, yeah.
We don't, that's the beauty of it. And as I was saying, Apple was smart enough, and I think that was fairly thoughtful, to put 2 USB-A connectors on the back in case you bringing your own. It is a bring your own monitor, keyboard, and mouse device. Let's get the Now we have, is this 10 gigabit or is this 1 gigabit Ethernet?
10.
So we have a fast enough Ethernet. It's 10? No, the Ethernet, I know our bandwidth is 10, but we have a symmetric 10 gigabit connection from our friends at Sonic, but I don't think that the Ethernet's probably gigabit. All right. All right. Everything's plugged in. There's still 3 connectors on the front, unused. Well, you can't really call the SD card. It's not a connector, but that looks pretty.
Yes. And
It's
you've
a
got
little
3 extra
slippery.
USB-Cs on your display.
This is not rubberized on the bottom.
That is interesting.
Oh, it does have a ring.
I wonder if it's because the HomePod would leave marks on tables.
It's very, you're going to want to put that on a mouse pad or something if you don't want it to slide. But they really do want to keep this area because the air is going to
aerated.
come in from the bottom and out the back. You saw those. They're not fans, they're thrusters that are about half the thickness of this box. All right, shall I turn her on?
Turn her on.
Do you have to turn? There's no on-off switch on the monitor.
No, there's not. It's
You just.
it's all happening from the Mac studio.
Okay. Listen for the bong. Wasn't very loud. And by the way, it's exactly the same.
Same sound, and there
Same
is a
sound.
speaker inside of the Mac
Yeah,
studio.
very tiny little
thing.
thing. Just enough for the bong, I guess. Is it booting?
I don't see that it's booting. There we go.
How exciting. All right. That's nice. Hello.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Hello. I guess I have to set it up. Why don't you set it up? This is going to be your... Wait a minute.
but
No, it's
that's
going to be
your-
mine.
yeah, you
This
should
is
set it up.
Lisa's. Lisa, can you come set this up? All right. What do I do? What language? English?
Maybe if you can swing around here, I'm going to face this towards you so you can see.
No, I can see. I can see.
that
Oh,
is-
no. I almost did Afghanistani.
I'm very excited. I am used to using some old 24-inch Dell monitors as my external displays, so having Retina on my external
I
display
broke it.
is
Oh, no.
next level.
Okay. If you click the back button, it goes all the way back to the beginning. English. Oh, it's thinking. It's
Faster computer.
this computer is so slow. This is so slow. There we go. Still thinks I'm in Afghanistan. Oh, it jumped to it really is doing a lot of something.
Yeah.
Something's going
A lot of
on.
processing happening in
Preferred
the
language
background.
English, input source US, dictation English, continue. Accessibility, not now. Software update immediately. It'll be updated to Mac OS 12.3. So we'll be back in an hour.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. Good night. So I don't know. I guess we're not going to be able to do the camera test right away.
Yeah.
Even though we do have a fast connection. Actually, this is a good test of how fast this Ultra actually is.
What we could end up doing. It's already installing that update.
Well,
How's it doing that?
It obviously had it on.
Did you already connect it to Wi-Fi?
Yeah, no, it's on Ethernet.
Oh, Ethernet. Pfft,
It's on fast Ethernet.
goofy me.
So,
Yeah, look at that. 35 seconds.
oh, okay, that is a lot faster. That's just down. Well, that's interesting. It didn't download it. It's 5.27 gigs. Do you think it downloaded it that fast and has verified it that fast and is now installing it that fast? How could this be? It must have been on the drive.
That's interesting. Maybe they were able to flash it, but set it up later.
So, it could be that fast, I guess. Maybe it is 10 gigabit Ethernet. I don't know. Do we know? It's a gigabit.
It's easy to test.
Yeah, we'll find out when we get there.
No, I'm pretty sure we don't
8 seconds remaining. That's the fastest. So this is the, it came with Monterey, but this is the upgraded 12.3, which just came out 2 days ago. So I could see that it wouldn't have that. It's only half there, but it says it's done. Now, that was the download. Now 30 minutes updating. Yeah, it said installing, but it was the download. So this isn't going to go much faster. Even with that SSD and the very high bandwidth SSD in there.
Maybe if we keep talking about it, if we keep saying, "Oh, you're
It's now
being
down to
slow,"
25
and
minutes, so
speed
that
up.
was good.
Yeah, you just have to say, "Oh man, I expected more from you."
Should we hear a fan, you think?
Surely not yet.
It's blowing.
Oh, oh, it's so cool.
But you can hear it because I'm miking it. I can't hear it from here. You can barely hear it. But it's definitely blowing cool air out here.
Ask it if it has
so
anything
it's
it
not
wants to
hot
say.
yet. Do you have anything to say? How long have you been in this country? Came from Malaysia. We couldn't figure out where the monitor came from, but the Mac itself was not assembled in China, which is unusual.
Yeah.
It was assembled in Malaysia. Well, this is going to be exciting. I didn't see this when Justine unboxed hers.
They must have done that before. What?
We do everything live here.
True live.
We do it all live. Emmerich says it's 10 gigabit Ethernet. Maybe it is. Did you do the math,
How would
Emmerich?
Emmerich know?
Well, he did the math.
Oh.
We downloaded 5.27
I see.
gigabytes in about maybe 30 seconds. It was pretty quick.
That makes sense.
Math. You know what? It'll be the real test for me was how fast it takes to build Emacs. and if it's, because really, honestly, and this is something we should probably say over and over again, you'd be silly to buy the Macs unless you were doing some very specialized stuff.
Absolutely.
Like mostly video editing, 8K video editing, rendering. Perhaps if you're using Photoshop and doing a lot of Gaussian blurs and things. Most of the stuff everybody does day to day, browsing, email, is not going to.
It doesn't take a Mac Studio in the
not gonna
first
need the
place,
Macs.
and definitely doesn't need the Mac with the M1 Ultra.
Right.
Which this has the Ultra in it.
I think the other thing to point out is the clock speeds on basically all the M1s are the same. Even the original M1s, the 13-inch MacBook Pro and the MacBook Air, same single core clock speed. So these aren't going to be much faster single core.
Right.
Which is why you don't need to buy up so much if you're just browsing and doing email. You're not going to get the benefit of it.
People have been so pleased with their 14-inch MacBook Pros, their 16, like all of those devices that have come out before, because you don't
Still very
necessarily
good.
need to go
Yeah.
up to this
Yeah.
level.
But if you use Xcode, for instance, this will compile a lot faster in Xcode. It's going pretty quick. It says only 20 minutes left. It's the progress bar is actually moving. I've done this 12.3 upgrade 3 or 4 times now, so I have to say this is certainly faster. And the download was much faster.
That was incredible.
That was amazing. Fans are not audible. They are blowing.
They're blowing.
And if I put the mic up to it, I think actually you're hearing the air. You're hearing the air blow on it. Do you hear it now?
That's the air.
It's just the air blowing on it. If I put it there, you're hearing the air. But you can't hear it, even if I put my ear down here.
Yeah.
And it's blowing. So I think these blowers are on all the time.
They probably are.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the difference between these other devices and this is how much can we run this with the cooling potential that we have
Right.
to make it
In
possible.
fact, if you look at the renders of this device, the computer itself is just one thin
Yep. Down at the
board.
bottom.
There's a power supply, I think a 387 watt power supply, because that's built in. Then there's the computer, which is just a board, and then most of this, about half of it, is the blowers.
The thrusters, as you call
Yeah,
them.
the thrusters. So the computer itself, almost iPhone sized. That's the amazing
It's incredible.
thing. Really haven't, we were trying to figure out, Mark Gurman was on MacBreak on Tuesday, and he said, you see the pictures, but we don't really know how big that die is, you know. I guess we'll have to
I
wait
can't
till
wait to see some teardowns of these.
iFixit takes it apart and so forth. So this is preparing to install. It says installing, but you're right. It might do another thing. It's moving pretty quickly. It went from 30 minutes to 15 minutes in about 4 or 5. So
Very quick. When I compare this to my Thunderbolt display of yesteryear, because there was the cinema display, and then
But the fans are on
the
this too, by the way.
display.
This has got fans on it too.
Does it?
Yeah, it's blowing.
Are you lying to me?
I'm not lying. Don't feel that?
No.
Maybe your palms aren't as sweaty as mine.
Must be what it is.
But seriously, I can feel the cool air coming out of the top here. Right there.
It used to have.
Right there. Put your hand right there.
Oh, there is something going on there.
Yeah, I'm not making it up.
I just didn't think it had fans.
It's silent.
They used to have
very
sort of
refreshing.
the puckered back or the domed back, and now it's completely
Right.
flat.
But thicker.
Thicker, yes, for sure.
Everything's thicker in the new Mac world. Oh, one thing we should try
To make room for the speakers. And
is just put this here. It won't break it, will it?
I think it's too
I'm putting
big.
it in backwards. It doesn't go that far.
Yeah, I think it's too
I
big.
was mistaken. I thought it would fit right nicely under that lip.
All the photos we've seen, they've had it to the side of.
You are not going to want to put it on that
display.
lip. It's too big. Yeah, it's to the side.
I guess you could set your display on top.
This
of
is
it.
actually, this shot really shows. This thing is swole.
Yeah,
This is
it
really
is.
quite.
It's got muscles.
It is actually, to call this a mini I mean, they don't.
They don't, yeah.
Is completely a misnomer. This is a Mac Pro, basically. This is the half-size Mac Pro. I don't know what they're going to do with the Mac Pro, but this feels big.
It'll be 3/4 cooling
Yeah.
than the Mac Pro.
Yeah. I mean, that's a hefty puppy.
The M1 Extreme.
It's good looking enough, though, that you would not mind having that on the desk.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, you could put it under the desk. I think you'd want access to those ports. We haven't, we've got Ethernet. We haven't plugged in HDMI. We could. We've got the monitor plugged in, a mouse, and a keyboard, and we still have plenty of connectors
Exactly.
left.
Most people are probably using Bluetooth mice and keyboards, so they'd have those USBs available.
Yeah. Or, I think a lot of us will have docks. And
I will have a
so
webcam
forth.
plugged in back there because the webcam that's built into the
Yeah,
display
you're not
is-
going to be wanting to using this. Well, we'll see. I don't know how long it's going to take. Yeah, we may not have time to get this done. We have in about half an hour. We've got to go to This Week in Enterprise Tech. We were taking a little bit of time after This Week in Space, our brand new space show with Rod Pyle and Tarek Malik of space.com. They just finished. We do that one off the air because it's audio only. And in about at 1:30 Pacific, about 27 minutes, they're going to start This Week in Enterprise Tech. It does say there's only 10 minutes remaining, and given in Mac time, that's only about 2 minutes.
Exactly. Yes.
In Ultra time.
They like to, what is it? Over
Over-promise and under-deliver. No.
Vice versa.
Under-promise and underwear.
I was hoping they were going to do that with my Mac Studio, that they were going to say, oh, it's not coming until the end of March.
Yeah, we all were hoping.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have a Mac Studio coming?
End of March, early April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, March 30th was our studio, is our studio Max delivery date. This Ultra
For some reason, you got it on day one.
is supposedly going to Lisa, but
Uh-oh. Now that you've seen your baby, you're kind of...
she doesn't need all that panel. I ordered this while the event was still going on. You may remember it was really great. Somebody in the chat room said, "Hey, the
It was
store
Jammer B.
Was it you?" Jammer B said that the store's already open. Tim Cook's still on stage. He's still talking. And I got my phone out. I went on and I bought, and that's the only way I was able to get this on Friday. Because I'm not a famous YouTuber.
Sadly.
I'm not bitter. Now it's really stalled now. It says 10 minutes remaining. It's not moving very fast.
Turn your mic off, I think.
Is there a button?
You're hearing it through. Very low.
Weird.
We don't need mics. It's just a podcast. There's no on-off switch on this.
Okay.
You?
It's just quiet.
I'm just low. Patrick says he's getting his March 30th, and that's the funny thing. I ordered this one right away, and then I got a spousal approval for the rest of them. So that's why the rest of them are coming at the end of the month.
Patrick, that's actually, that exact thing is my date. March 30th
March
through
30th through April 6th, which
Yep.
means March 30th. Because they're usually very good about that.
This
is stuck. I hope it's not. I'm going to break it.
I'll be using this with my Intel MacBook Pro until the Mac Studio arrives.
And you got the, and I think you were wise. I told you to. You got the Max.
Yes.
You were wise to listen to me.
The only change that I made was going to 1 terabyte instead of the 512.
Which you should absolutely
Because I
do.
have a 2 terabyte MacBook Pro. So it's already a step down.
I bought the M1 Pro MacBook Pro 14-inch last fall, and I only got 512 in it. And I think with a little care,
exactly,
it's fine.
You show a little care and you're good to go.
You move the photos off
Especially
after a year and
with
things
those
like
Thunderbolt connections and USB 4
Yeah, there's plenty of
connections, you'd be
external
able to
connection.
Move things around just fine.
But you want to have a big enough, if you do video editing, you want to have a big enough drive to have the work files
all happen
on
right there.
locally. I think it would make a big difference. We're down to 5 minutes remaining. But the chat room tells us that all that's going to happen is it's going to reboot, and then it's going to say,
Now it's more time.
now we got another half hour. So we'll see.
There were some
We'll
retail
see.
units available in store today. The base model M1 Max Mac Studio was available at the Santa Rosa store.
Oh, I might run up.
But if for mine, because I checked.
Because
it,
you
I was
could
like,
go
if I
and
change
get it and cancel, right?
if they had the 1 terabyte, but they don't.
They don't.
So
Those are all
kept-
no build-to-order options.
No,
They're all the
exactly.
base models.
Base model, and there weren't any M1
Ultras?
Ultra options.
Yeah. Were there monitors?
I did not check the studio
Okay.
display.
Okay. So 5 minutes remaining. It's just the littlest sliver. We're good at stalling, though. When they do the rocket launch for office hours, you and I should be like Walter Cronkite, just sitting there.
Gotta talk about something.
We've got a hold, but let me show you again the model of the Saturn V rocket. And now nothing. It says nothing. It's rebooting.
Rebooting.
This is where you cross your fingers. It doesn't say 38 minutes left.
Let us hope.
What I really wanted to do is test the cameras. That's really the.
You ended up getting a...
Hello. Familiar?
Here we go again.
Have we met before? This is the real install. Da, da, da,
You ended up getting a Thunderbolt from CalDigit, a Thunderbolt dock. Are you going to use that eventually?
Eventually, because it's way back ordered because of the chip shortage.
Uh-huh.
But I got on the list. I really wanted that. Yeah, the Thunderbolt 4 dock. And the thinking was using it with this, but now I don't know. This has enough ports on
Got
it.
a lot of ports.
I probably won't need to. I mean, I will. So you put the sound design for the audio. You put a camera, probably. That's two. Yeah, I think there's enough ports really with
Might be.
with everything. The nice thing about your monitor is it has enough power to keep your laptop charged.
Mm-hmm.
It's got something like a 97 watt.
And it's one of the
connector.
only monitors in this class that can actually do that.
I'm wondering if that's what they mean when they have the lightning bolt on
That
there.
is the indication that that's the one you have to use if you want to be able to charge.
laptop
yeah,
power.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we probably could plug that.
Into one of the others.
Since
Since this is the power source.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
I think you're probably
I don't know.
right.
Unplug it and try it. Go
I
ahead.
don't
Come on,
want to
it's not
mess
gonna hurt
things up.
anything.
I don't want to mess things up
What
while
could
it's in the
possibly
process.
go wrong?
Yeah, okay.
It affects the CPU. It's the monitor.
I'm also deadly concerned that it could send some sort of horrible surge into
It's
the
his
studio
monitor.
display.
I don't want to break his monitor.
Are we there yet?
Still running. The fans are still running.
And this certainly doesn't look like it's very pull apartable, does it?
No, in fact,
Can't
that was
even see
one
where
complaint
you-
I'd heard from some people is that there are no ways, apparent anyway, to get into this. It's probably like the original Mac Minis where you needed a spudger to get in there. Actually, I think on this Mac Mini, which is a more recent one, this rubber plate can be taken off and you can get in there.
Get the memory and the hard drive.
Yeah, I don't know if this has anything like that. So clearly, there's a tool. You can feel there's a separation here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a tool, probably a spudger-like tool. In the early days of the Mac Mini and the Apple TV, they were distributing specially polished paint scrapers to all the Apple stores because that's all they really needed. So if you've got a good sharp paint scraper, just put it in there, pry it out. What could possibly go wrong? Good question. Somebody's asking, can it be run sideways? There's no reason not to. There's no moving parts in here. The fans would still work the same way.
Yeah.
It's a little ugly. I mean, I don't know if you want to see that bottom. But yeah, I think you probably could run that sideways.
Upside down, sideways.
Because there's no spinning hard drives. It's all solid state. The thermals maybe, but I think this is so active. There's no passive cooling. It's drawing in here, blowing it out the back. I don't,
Maybe you'd even get more air.
maybe there's some convection used, but it seems like it's pretty. Yeah, but
That's true.
but it's pretty active. I mean, it's I understand heat rises.
You're gonna have heat all over
Yeah.
that one side.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to run it sideways for the next 6 months, and I'll let you know. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference because this is blowing all the time. The fans are always on. So I don't think it's relying on convection for cooling. It's not like the trash can Mac, which was entirely relying on convection.
That thing got so hot.
Emmerich's saying, I suspect air circulation be disrupted by running it sideways. Perhaps.
Who knows?
It's very tight in there. There's not a lot of open spaces.
Well, there wasn't enough room for that tiny person to go inside of it.
Which tiny person?
Remember during the event?
Oh
the
yeah,
video they showed?
she fell in through the hole.
She lost her
She
shoe.
lost her
inside.
shoe. There's a shoe in here.
That must be what that rattling sound is.
Or about halfway down, well, a little less. But
Yeah, that's true. You can put iStat on it to check the thermals.
Anthony's got to edit this. He's looking at his watch. He's going, yeah, come on, guys. What we could do is speed this part up because we haven't said anything of value at all. Yeah. You could just have us going.
Ta-da! I'm hoping they eventually make an adapter. Third party makes an adapter for this so that I could put it on a VESA arm.
How would you? Can you take it off?
I imagine you pop that.
There's
off
a way
with
to get that
screws,
off.
because that's.
Yeah.
I did that with my Thunderbolt display.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. Third party. I think it was actually 12 South.
It's too bad because Apple sells this model at the same price as the one with just the Visa mount on the back.
But it was like a whole month later. I would have had to wait.
And honestly, if you are looking at the swivel mount, you'd be better, which is $400 extra. You'd be better off getting the same, this thing without the Visa mount and getting an arm for $200. And you'd have much more flexibility if you could use an arm in your place.
Yep.
Yeah, you think these buttons?
I think if it's like the displays of yesteryear, those come off and there's a special.
If I is where you put the battery.
Yeah.
Johnson. If I press this and the thing goes, will you forgive me?
I'll have a heart attack and then I'll forgive you.
We definitely get some views on YouTube if that happens. I
Day
found
one, cracked.
the only way we get on YouTube is if something horrible happens. We are on YouTube, but get any views on YouTube?
No, Emmerich, I don't think anyone made that point. No, the mounts are not interchangeable. We're not
You
suggesting
have
that
to
they
buy
are
it with what you got.
interchangeable. Yeah.
But there may be some clever third-party
Exactly.
aftermarket guy that comes along and says, well,
Because that's exactly how they did it in the past.
Right.
I got this special card, and there was an Allen wrench, and I was able to remove my Thunderbolt display from the stand that
You
it
have
came
to
with,
think it's like that.
and then, yeah.
Because they're not going to have this, molded into the. They're not going to have all those different SKUs.
Exactly.
They really have one SKU with different backings. Although if you look at the Visa mount one, it does have this whole big area here. It has to for the Visa mount, but it's unclear if it's flush or if it's on the top of it. It is display power on the side like the Cinema. There is no display power as far as we can tell. There's no button at all.
It's just a straight...
It's either plugged in.
Oh, the power button. Yeah, there's no power button.
No power button. It's either on or off. That's another reason I canceled mine.
Basically
to
an
be honest
iPhone
with
11
you.
with a huge screen is what this device
Yeah.
is. Jason Snell posted on Twitter, because it has iPhone, it's running on iOS, and so it can crash just like iOS can.
Is that true?
Yes, hands down. And so Jason actually posted an error that he got where it said your display has crashed.
Okay, so that's really important because we knew they put the i13 in here. The question was if they put more memory and storage in so that it could conceivably do more. Mm-hmm. Well, we know now if it's running iOS, they did.
So it's running iOS.
Might not be out of firmware, but...
Yeah, and I don't... as Mark said, it's not a good idea to sort of hope that eventually this
Mark
display is
Gurman
gonna
pointed
have
out that
stuff
Apple
added.
never does that. They don't secretly build in features that they later release.
Yeah, I think it was just how do we get Hey, You Know Who, and I always forget it, center stage into this the easiest way.
And surround sound. There's
And
three.
surround sound,
There's three
yes.
iOS features that it uses. It doesn't need an A13 to do that. In fact, this is more processor than the Apple TV.
They had a lot
has.
of A13s hanging out.
That's what Mark Gurman said, and I think that that's accurate because it turns out this was designed 2 years ago when the iPhone 11 was current.
Yep.
And so it would make sense that if they're going to design it with an iOS chip, they're going to put in the current chip. Mm-hmm. And now, here we are 2 years later, they probably know how many iPhone 11s they're going to sell, period, ever again. And they have, it turns out we have 50,000 extra, so put them in the monitor.
As opposed to designing a different chip that would do those things, use the ones you've got.
Hey, I think we're almost there.
Oh.
I think we're almost there. It's gone black anyway. Usually Good or bad sign? Oh, no, it's starting over again.
This may be the launch finally, though.
We may not get to play with the cameras. We'll have to do that. You know what? You could do that as on iOS today.
That's what I was
on
thinking.
Tuesday, you'll have a laptop connected to it, and you could test the laptop camera versus the monitor camera. Well, actually, it's almost done. It's doing a little faster this time.
I'll test it. Well, so what I plan on doing is testing this camera and then using the 1080p Logitech camera that I have. Is that what it is? Yeah, the C920, and compare those two.
And we'll do some benchmarks, but honestly, Ars Technica has done extensive benchmarks. Andrew Cunningham does a really good job.
Very in-depth.
If you're curious about speeds and so forth. And it was Andrew's observation, which I agree with. In fact, it's exactly what we expected, which is that the Ultra is only of benefit to people who are going to use it multi-core.
Yep.
It is not any faster than the Max or even the Pro or even the original M1 in single core. Maybe more RAM would make a difference, but that's about it. So there is no reason to go with a faster processor with the Ultra, which is why I'm going to take this from Lisa, and she'll never even
She'll be
notice.
happy with the Max.
Because I do occasionally run Xcode and something like that.
I know
hello.
what you're waiting for, Leo.
What am I waiting for?
You need this because whenever the holiday thing comes along, the advent of code comes along.
I need it for the advent of
you
code
need to
because
be able
I
to
need
do
my
those stacked
Racket,
problems.
which is the programming language I use, is so fast. I don't actually think it's benefited particularly by this. Look, we're done. It's migration
through.
assistant time. That was actually fairly fast for 12.3. It feels like
agree.
I didn't time my 12.3. We are not going to migrate. Should I sign in with an Apple ID? Skip it? I can skip it?
Yeah, because you can just.
Well, wait a minute. You can't do that on Windows.
I guess though, if you're wanting to do FaceTime, you will need an Apple ID.
Yeah, agree. You do have to agree to a whole bunch of. Well, I don't know. I don't think we need to do this.
Yeah, we'll do it for. Like I said, I'll talk about it on iOS today. I'm sure
we're so short of time. I don't want to keep this going. We were going to do a comparison, and we will.
Yeah.
Between the camera on this
and the camera on
an iPad
Pro.
or a laptop, because the early reports are it's not very good. In fact, I was so spooked by them that I just canceled it. But we do have the Ultra in-house, and I'll be playing with that and give you some, at least, it won't be benchmarks. I don't think I need to do those. Although, maybe I'll get that photogrammetry file from Alex Lindsay.
That would be cool.
See if it runs.
On MacBreak.
That's the kind of program you really want to run on this. So I'll email Alex right as soon as I get home, and we'll run that. Maybe it'll be done by Tuesday. Thank you, everybody. There it is, the Mac Studio, the Mac Studio display. They're a nice combination. It does fit right underneath. Not on the tray as I was hoping. That is a fat little bugger. It is not the Mac Mini that we were thinking, the Mac Mini Pro.
Absolutely. No.
That is a
Mac Pro,
X-Mac or a Mac Pro.
Mac
that
Pro
is
small.
Yeah. Pretty amazing hardware from Apple, and really a different world from Apple if you think about it, because this is really all power supply and cooling and the tiniest little slice of a computer in there. That's a very different kind of design than we've been used to with Intel. Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned. This Week in Enterprise Tech is next, and that's it for Tech Break. I'm Leo Laporte.
And I'm Mikah Sargent.
Have a great day.